And we're good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm stealing Kieran's stint. Welcome to the G1 Climax 33 preview. I am Fusa, and this is Jamie.
Hello.
Hello. So, 32 guys this year. This is the biggest block that is ever in the history of the G1. And I guess we're just going to have to break them all down.
Yeah, I think it's more of a task this year than ever before. Usually, you're 20 people, you think it's all right, it won't take too long, and then you're 32, you think you could be here all night. But no, it's looking like an interesting tournament, really. The 4 blocks, I don't. I'd be interested to see what you think. I'm not so keen on the 4 blocks personally. I prefer the 2.
I'm kind of like 50-50 about the 4-block system. Like, it's always been tradition to have the 2 blocks, but like I'm also kind of like the more the merrier when it comes to G1. I like when like just seeing as many people as possible, and like with like a bunch of blocks, we get more people like Eddie Kingston, Kaito Kiyomiya, and them being able to compete in the G1 rather than it being a lot more like New Japan guys.
Yeah, definitely. And hi to Julian in the comments, and some of us throughout the night. People will be throughout. It's night for me, but day for other people.
Morning
Day
for
you,
me.
isn't it? Yeah. Throughout the night, we'll have people. I said it again. Throughout the stream, we'll have people putting comments on in our chat. Yeah, but I think I'm with you. Really, I'd personally prefer 2 blocks of 10, but because it's a bit wrestling overload, if that's such a thing we can complain about. And there's lots of filler in there for me. But yeah, it's nice to see people like Eddie Kingston. And we'll get to him later, obviously. And it's nice to see people like that getting the chance.
Yeah, that's kind of also another tricky thing with the blocks. Is just like it's a lot of wrestling for us, and it's also a lot of wrestling for them as well.
Yeah, I guess it's easier than for the wrestlers. It's easier than a 2 blocks of 10, isn't it? It's only 7 matches as opposed to 9, so it's a little bit easier, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, and then also, of course, with some of them, they're not going to make it to the quarterfinals or further, so they're not going to see any more matches outside of the 7 they have. So,
yeah.
So with this system, I'm stealing the Ocean Cyclone show's rating system that they did for their 5-star Grand Prix preview, essentially being like, we are rating each wrestler on a system of 1 to 5. 5 being that they're taking the block and they're going to the semifinals and might even win the whole thing. 4, they're going to get out of the blocks either in first or second position, and they might not get any further than the quarters. 3 stars being that they are going to be fighting to get out of the blocks. They might just barely miss out, though. 2 being that they're going to like try their best, but like they're obviously not going to make it, so pretender. And then 1 star being just they are happy to be there, or they were forced to be there and they are not going to make it very far.
The Hikuleo level.
The Hikuleo level, and also the evil level.
Mm.
So let's start off with the A block with the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata.
Yes, he's for me easily a contender. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get through the block. And obviously, once you get to the quarter, it's like a World Cup, really. Quarterfinal, semi-final, final. It could be interesting to see how far he goes beyond the group. Obviously, he's got to lose at some point. He's not going to win. The whole thing is not. I don't think he'll get to the final. It doesn't make sense to burn your Wrestle Kingdom match in the G1 final, but a quarterfinal or a semi-final for Sonata, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking 4-star of this one. I think he's gonna definitely make it out of the blocks. I'm just not sure. I think probably a quarterfinal finish, maybe semifinals if like he gets, depending on who he gets matched up with coming out of the D block. Julian also is thinking quarterfinal or semifinal.
Yeah,
For,
so we all
Sonata.
agree on Sonata. I'm sure it won't last our agreement on where everyone's going to finish.
No, probably not. I think Sonata's kind of a very like easy, like he's the world champion. He's gonna go far.
Definitely.
Next up in the block, Shota Umino.
Yeah, I think Umino's for me is more of an interesting one. I guess you'd put him in that if you're doing the star categories at 3 stars, maybe if someone that could on they could put him through, but I personally don't see it happening. I think there's at least one other person in the block that I would see they're more likely to put through. So he's someone that New Japan obviously have a lot of faith in him. They've done a story with Okada and with Tanahashi with him, sort of building him up through that Muto match at Wrestle Kingdom last year, and the way he's been interacting with the Rainmaker has been very interesting, and that's so they could easily put him through to a quarterfinal. But personally, there's 2 for me that stand above him in the block.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the 3-star. I think he can most certainly make it out of the block. I'm not sure. Like it would be a fight. I feel like if he were to be eliminated, it would be like on the very last night of the block. And like just like his very last match, it'd be something like against like Hikuleo or something where he gets like a double count out, or like it's like an upset loss to like Sonata or someone else. I'm not actually too sure
I think he's got Hikuleo on the last night. I've got the little table. I think he's got Hikuleo on the last night. Yeah. So
okay, yeah. So I can see it kind of being like some double count out. If Hikuleo was a Stone Bullet Club, I would like chalk it up to Bullet Club shenanigans. But I think if Shooter were to miss, it would be like that very last night, and it'd be like 1 point or something. Except the man he is facing on the very first night of his competition, Ren Narita.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a great match, won't it, with them two opening the night. It really sort of sets the stall out for not only what the tournament is, but what this block is in particular. It's been sort of like this the young person block, isn't it? With a lot of people that we're going to be talking about in A block. For me, he's another one. I put him in the same boat as Shota Umino. He's not he's not part of the group I'd see getting out the block, but he's someone. Again, I wouldn't be shocked. They're the new the 3 Musketeers, aren't they? With Narita, Umino, and obviously we'll get to Yota Tsuji. Doing there saying could be finals. Yeah, it's interesting. Is it either get Naito in the quarterfinal? Possibly, there's potential there with Umino that he could get through. He's one of them, isn't it? And that's what makes it so interesting. This A block in particular, there's a lot of options. Ren Narita is one of them, yeah, but 3 stars for me. He's going to get nearly there, finish sort of mid-table, but have some good matches along the way, I'm sure.
Yeah. I also with like the 3-star in this one as well. I think Kuha put it really good. It's really hard to predict this block. Like you can't very easily be like, okay, this guy's 5, this one's 4, this one's 2, this one's 3, this one's 1, this one's like it's not as easy. Like any of these guys really could make it through to into like the quarterfinals, maybe even farther. I do like the idea of Sonata possibly facing Shingo in the quarterfinals and lose to him and then gain a title shot later in Power Struggle. I do like that idea. That's a very interesting idea. I'm a big fan of Shingo. I would like to see Shingo get a title shot even.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had a look now, and it could happen if Sonata wins the block and Shingo finishes second in C block, then that'll be the quarterfinal match. Yeah, so it's a potential.
This is an interesting take. Narita will be playing spoiler for Kaito on the final day to prevent Kaito from going through, in my opinion. That's very interesting.
We'll get to Kaito, won't we? Yeah.
We'll get to Kaito because I also have thoughts on Kaito. But that's a very interesting prediction. So, but yeah, as for Ren, I also think that he is probably a 3-star. I don't think he would be in the same boat as Umino, where like he would get eliminated on like the very last night of the block. Like I'm thinking maybe like the night before, like the second to last one, or maybe even possibly sooner. But I think that he's definitely going to be like finishing in like that top 5, top 4 in terms of points.
Yeah, it's going to be a good showing for him, I'm sure.
Sure,
it has to be. So
no, it's fine. Next up, Yota Tsuji.
Yeah.
Tsuji, I am also feeling. I think with Tsuji, I'm feeling more of a 4. Like if Sonata was to miss out on the like quarterfinals and all that, I feel like it would be because of Yota Tsuji, my king. I think Suji would be the one that like if like I don't know when he's facing Sonata exactly, but I can definitely see if it came down to a tiebreaker, it would go Suji's way because he would upset Sonata to get like the momentum back from when he lost to him at Dominion.
Yeah, he faces Sonata on the 21st, which will be the third night of block action for the A
Okay.
block. So it's not early, not it's sort of the middle days that really sort of they're the ones where you figure out where everyone's going to finish, I guess. And yeah, for me, I'm sort of in a similar way. Like I said earlier, with Shota Umino could be one who sneaks in place of the two I've got going through the block, and Yota Tsuji's the other one I think that could potentially be a bit of a spoiler for my predictions and sneak in, but because he's obviously they put some weight behind him, got that big title match coming straight back from his excursion. So I wouldn't be shocked if they put him through, but it feels like he's had his title match. So I don't see him going too far into the tournament.
Suji has come back big after excursion, so he's a real possibility too. Around the same area, Shota, but with a little touch of Narita.
Yeah, they're all
think,
sort of in the same boat, aren't they? Them three.
Yeah, I see a spoiler to Kid. Interesting. We will get to Gabriel Kid momentarily. I think what's interesting about like the Reiwa three Musketeers is like kind of the presentation of when the three of them came back from excursion, because there was Umino who came back and immediately challenged Will Ospreay for the IWGP US title. There was Suji that came back, challenged Sonata for the world title, and then Ren Narita came back, and I can't even remember what he did before he formed Strong Style.
He did some stuff with Zack Sabre Jr., didn't he? Before that was sort of his big singles feud.
Yes, yes, right. He did challenge. He was challenging Zack for the NJPW World TV title at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, but like kind of like you kind of see like the difference.
So you're testing my memory there with Ren Narita matches from last year.
Yeah, but like you kind of see like the difference between the three of them in terms of like what they did when they got brought back. Like like you can kind of like rank it to like first like Suji with the world title, then Shooter with the US title, and then the TV title with Narita. So
definitely, yeah.
it's the even though like they're billing them as like the future of the company with these three, but like it's definitely you can kind of see where they are in the hierarchy at the moment. That can change, of course, in the future. It might even change in this tournament. But if out of these three, I think Suji would be the best. Like, would probably be the one to move on out of the blocks, with Shooter being a close second, and then Narita kind of being a bit further back than three of them.
Yeah, I can go along with that.
Okay. Next up is Hikuleo.
So this one's nice and easy. He's finishing bottom of the block probably. I mean, maybe second bottom. That'd be generous. But no, you never know with Hikuleo. We might have a couple of good matches in the block, but it doesn't. If I'm honest, doesn't excite me in the slightest.
Yeah, I'm thinking with him. Probably I'm thinking of two. I think like they will give him some wins. He'll probably be like I've upset people, but like I got 4 points total out of it kind of guy of the block.
Yeah. The old Farley's role, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, the Fale kind of role with it. I do see if he were to upset people, it would be Shooter on like the last night, and like probably pick up a win over Chase Owens, beats Sonata. Probably not Sonata. Maybe Ren Narita. He's very kind of like.
Yeah, it's an interesting comment from Julian there. Is that Shota and Suji going through Narita? So at 10. Yeah, so Suji not going through, but Shota Umino going through. So yeah, this could happen. I mean, it wonders where Kaito Kiyomiya fits in. Obviously, when we get to him.
Yeah, Kaito's kind of like the big kind of piece for me. I feel like he's heavily protected by the company. I'm assuming talk about Hikuleo. They're making him seem bigger than what he usually is, so I can see him in the mix. I genuinely feel a possible upset on Sonata on the first night.
I'd be shocked. I mean
Yeah,
that's the point, isn't it? But if you beat the world champion, you get a world title match. And is Hikuleo world title ready? I'm personally, I'm not so sure. But
yeah. Do we really want the main event of Power Struggle, or I guess like, Destruction and Kobe? I think could probably be the next one, or Destruction wherever. Do we really want that to be Sonata versus Hikuleo?
no, is the simple answer to that question.
Exactly. No one wants the main event to be Sonata versus Hikuleo. Hikuleo's still like in the kind of like he should be challenging for the Strong Open title and like the Never Openweight title. He's not there yet that he should be challenged for the world.
He's got potential, but
Excuse
for
me.
now, he's one of the. He fills a space in the block.
I agree with that for sure. Hikuleo is so difficult to predict. Normally 6 points guy. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
I can see him
he's a
possibly coming out.
He's a 4 point guy for me this year.
I think
There's some really big people in this block, and some people they put a lot of weight behind, and I can't see personally that New Japan will put Hikuleo over some of the people they've got in this block. I'm struggling to see where his wins are coming from.
yeah. I also don't think he is, but they've given him a bunch of stuff that this doesn't seem out of the question. Yeah, it's if he was in a different block, then I would say like possibly he gets more points. He might finish top 4, but like they're not gonna put him over the Reiwa Three Musketeers. They're most likely not gonna put him over Sonata. There's Kaito in the mix as well. Like, are they really gonna have him go over Kaito? Is Pro Wrestling Noah really gonna be cool with Kaito losing to Hikuleo?
Well, no, definitely not.
Exactly. So it's a bad block for him specifically.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up, Chase Owens.
Yeah, I'll be short and snappy on Chase Owens. He'll win a couple of matches and finish mid-table because it's Chase Owens. He always does.
Yeah. Chase is a 1-star. I think he's the most that's going to happen for him in the block is he's going to face Gabe Kidd. There's going to be some Bullet Club kind of like, are you with this? Are you not? Like, what's up with you, bro? And then like they do something on the G1 final night. The chat is saying that he's definitely going to be finishing at the bottom.
Finishing bottom of the block there.
Finishing bottom of the
agree with that.
block.
Hopefully.
2 to 4 points, maybe. This one's kind of like very like copy paste. We're done here kind of position for Chase. Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
He's interesting in terms of
Yeah, I was going to say the same. He's interesting for me because, I mean, when you look at the people in this block, you're looking at Gabe Kidd as someone who's going to finish in that lower second bottom, third bottom sort of position. But he's a title holder, isn't he? He's got he's got a tag team title to his name now, winning that at the Independence show, the New Japan Strong in Krakow last week. So I think that throws a spanner into the works of sort of you earmarking him as someone who's going to be low down in the block because he holds a title. You never know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how, because we can know how like the strong titles are in Japan or in America. So it'll be interesting to see how they're gonna like treat the strong titles over in Japan, because they might not see them on the same like wavelength as like the IWGP tag titles.
Yeah, I think it's a different story if he'd have won the IWGP titles.
Yes, I think if he won the IWGP titles, they would probably hold him more higher up in the block. I don't know where to put him because he's only just come back and I haven't seen too much of him. Bottom 3, I think. Bottom 3 is pretty fair. I think he's probably the dark horse of this block. I think with like the whole new Bullet Club attitude and everything, it seems like he could definitely like pull off a few upsets here and there. Maybe make it into that like finishing top first, like the top half of the tournament.
Yeah, he's one of them. He could finish second bottom. He could finish just outside that the top 2. He's one of them. You're not going to complain anyway where he gets put, really.
Mm-hmm. So I think with him, I would definitely give him a 3-star. Gabe won't win much.
2, 3 stars. Yeah.
2 or 3 stars, fair. Gable won't win much, maybe 2 or 3 matches, but I have him beat Kaito and Tsuji on the final night. Interesting. Maybe 6 to 8 points for Kid. I think 6 to 8 points is pretty fair.
Yeah.
And then the highlight of the tour. Oh, one last comment. He's above Chase Owen and Hikuleo, in my opinion, but the rest it's hard for him to see above at this time. Also fair.
Yeah, and hello to Connor there. He's a regular in our streams.
Shout out Connor, regular in the streams, regular in the Discord, regular in the as a Patreon as well. And then the most interesting and the big name in this A block, Kaito Kiyomiya. I have Kaito as my 5-star. I don't think New Japan is going to miss out on the opportunity to do Okada versus Kaito again. I just can't see them missing out on just like that match, especially in like their ring with like no time limit, because it would have to be a semifinal match. Like I just don't see them missing out on that match happening again, unless like they want to like do something where like he just barely misses and then Okada talks shit, being like, haha, look at you got eliminated in the blocks, I'm here in the semifinals, ha 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 ha. And then like they have a Wrestle Kingdom match or something. But
yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I think he'll get through, and I think he'll face Okada. It looks like it can be the semi-final, can't it? That match between the two of them.
Yes,
and that would make sense. And then, I mean, you can have either of them win. I think it probably makes sense that it's Kaito Kiyomiya. I mean, you put him in the final; it's quite a big spot for him, but he's got that name recognition now, and if he beats Okada, then that sets up a free match series that can conclude at Wrestle Kingdom, and that's the thing I see with Kaito Kiyomiya. But then the other way, he could lose to Okada and but sort of like in challenge a bit more than he did it in their first match, and that'll like create that progression towards a third match, because I think that's where it's going with Kiyomiya.
Yeah, Gato is rubbing his hands.
So 4 for me. 4 stars.
Gato is rubbing his hands and salivating as we speak about the thought of Okada versus Kaito being the semifinal.
Loves a rematch.
This group should be Sonata and Kaito as the two going through. That's what it should be, but who knows?
Yeah, that's my prediction. They're like you said, they're Sonata and Kaito.
If Kaito goes through, I want him to face Okada in semifinals, but they'll have to finish in the same position, both first or both second. That's what I'm thinking as well. I have predictions for the B block with which the one Okada's in, which we will get to, which I think will make sense to set up for them making it to the semifinals. Kaito's going to have too much hype. Haha, he will have a great tournament, but I don't see him wrestling Okada in the semis. Would be too obvious. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's the alternative, isn't it? That's the obvious way to go, isn't it? Like we've laid out there. So you never know, they might switch it up and go a different direction. But it'd be interesting to see where we've got him in correlation to the B block, because that makes a big difference to who he'll face in the run into the final.
Yes, agree. So moving on, we're gonna head into the B block, starting off with the aforementioned Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, I mean, he's the epitome of a 5-star person in these G1s, isn't he? That if he doesn't win the block, he finishes second, and that's where you get, isn't it? I mean, either for me, he'll win the block, and Kaito Kiyomiya will win A block, which I think is probably less likely. But I could see him finishing second in the block, as well as Kiyomiya finish second in the A block, and then that would set up their match in the semi-final. Then we'll get to my pick for winning the block later on.
Yes. I'm thinking 4-star for Okada. He's not my pick to win the block. I have him in second. But I do think Okada will make it to semifinals, possibly even all the way. But in terms of block points, I'm thinking he's going to finish second. There's a very easy story of, like you said, Okada shin on him for not making it there. You can have Kaito lose in the quarterfinals to not make it to Okada.
It's interesting.
That could also work.
I've got a feeling they will do a second match here in the I mean, I'm surprised we weren't in the blocks together. I thought that made sense, but I do think they'll have a match in the semi-final.
I see this block as the easiest to call in terms of who advances through. I agree. I think this one is kind of pretty set in stone of like the top two.
Yeah,
Who's
I feel we'll
advancing.
both agree on who we think is going to win the block. So
Yeah,
unless you've gone
Great-
for Taichi.
obviously it's Great Khan. All hail.
Well, of course, yeah. It's actually Tangaloa. I don't know about.
Oh, for sure. Is he? No, he's in a C block, isn't he?
No, I think that's Tama
Oh, sorry, no.
Tonga.
I'm thinking of Tom Tonga. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a mistake.
So second is Yoshihashi.
Yeah, I think he's one of them. He'll finish mid-table, the 3-star sort of position. He's. I mean, this is quite cut and dry. This block of who the two are that are going to get through. I mean, we'll say that now, and it won't happen because that seems to be the way of it. But yeah, mid-table finish in B block.
Yeah, I'm also feeling a Yoshihashi 3-star. I think as well, like right in the middle of the pack in terms of finishing. I don't think he would. I think like maybe contending like for the last like 3 or 4 nights, and then like it just barely misses out with like a loss to like Osprey or something.
Yeah, but he's got Kento on the last night, so.
Oh yeah, I think that one would be a one to do it. I'm struggling to think who Okada could lose to because I think of all the matches from anyone in the tournament, Okada versus Osprey screams the most to go to a time limit draw.
Yeah, I could go along with that. It's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20-minute time limits is definitely going to play a factor in this tournament.
I'm really happy about it. we more matches but less, so it should sort of work out that they probably are. It is less wrestling overall, but
yeah, I think
20 minutes is helpful.
I think it solves kind of that issue of like overload for some of the wrestlers in terms of like matches and stuff. But like at the same time, I'm kind of like I like 30 minutes more because, like Connor said, 20-minute timers could see loads of draws. I'm not super fond of the idea of a tournament kind of like just having a whole lot of like draws because it kind of takes because like there's always going to be sprints to the finish, but like if you're watching the time and you're watching a match between like Goto, I think Goto's in, I don't remember if Goto's in this block. I don't think Goto's in this block.
D, I think.
C. So like
C or D.
We'll do like Yoshihashi and ELP as an example. Like we're getting to like the last like few minutes of the match. ELP hits CR2, Yoshihashi kicks out. At that point, you can kind of just be like, okay, well, this one's most likely going to a draw unless he like hits a CR3. Goto is D block. Thank you, Connor. So like it's kind of like a thing of like, and you can kind of predict where the match is going in terms of pacing, unless like they have a very sudden like, oh wait, that was the finish. Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I think I'm sort of just looking forward to it more just because the fact that the matches will be shorter. I mean, as Zack Sabre Jr. showed, you can have shorter matches and still produce quality with him. With his New Japan World TV title, he's had some great matches with that in 15 minutes. So 20 minutes shouldn't be any trouble.
Exactly. Zack Sabre Jr. is like the one who's like the most happy about the time limit being shortened of everyone. Just like, I'm used to this. Great. 5 extra minutes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
ELP would be Osprey on the final night to advance behind Okada, in my opinion. Interesting.
Yeah, ELP is an interesting one. We'll come to him in a minute. I'm sure
we'll definitely get to him. I have a little bit of insider information on ELP. Tangaloa is the person I least expect in the block to beat Okada, and he's got him in Osaka of all places too. So no Osaka upset this year for the Rainmaker.
God, I hope not, Cast. Yeah, but yeah, Tangaloa, you've got him on the screen now, haven't you? He's not gonna. He's one of them. You look at the people in this block. There's some really big names in this block. He's finishing dead last, isn't he?
Once again, Tangaloa gets some points. He'll be against Okada on the final night. I agree with you as well. I think Tangaloa is a 2-star. I don't see him losing too much because he hasn't wrestled since May of last year. So I can't see them bringing him back to be the jobber of the block because like right after such a long injury. I think there's someone else in this block who could definitely take over as the jobber of it. Tangaloa is going to be kind of finishing more towards the bottom, like Kuha says. Next up, ELP. So,
Yeah.
um,
Go on, I'll let you take ELP with your insider information.
yes, this past weekend, ELP wrestled at a independent show in Vancouver. He wrestled against Sebastian Wolf, not Sebastian Wolf. He had a match against Miles DeVille. I talked to ELP after his match, and he told me that he fucked up his knee during the match. I don't think. I hope. I don't think it will, but I really hope it won't. I don't think this will have any factor on him in the G1. He didn't tweet about it or anything, so I don't think it was a thing where it was like he's gonna like talk about it and then it's gonna turn into like an injury that people attack during the match, like the G1 itself. So I don't think it's one of those. I think he just kind of like there's just once because like the ring was smaller than most rings he's used to. He yelled it during the match that the ring's fucking small. So I think it's like an injury of like he just tweaks it hopefully and he should be fine. I talked to him. He said like that like because like this was like last Saturday, so he has a whole week to prepare for the match to rest up the knee. And also he did like say that like he has like his first block match is against Yoshihashi, so he's not super worried. So kind of burying Yoshihashi a bit there.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a wear and tear injury. Good luck finding a wrestler that's not picked up some sort of injury or is a little bit injured as they're working. So I think he'll be all right. If it was a big injury, it'd be known.
Yeah, if it was a bigger injury, it would be a lot more out there. He was also walking fine in like, oh no, I hope he's fine. He seemed fine when I was talking to him. He was walking fine or like walking around and everything fine after the show. I think it's just one of those things where like he like did like a move, like he like ran to the corner, a guy moved out of the way, and like he like happened to bump his knee against like the corner pad and like hit like the little hook thing. I think it's just one of those things where it's like it might be a bit bruised, but he should be fine. He seemed fine after the match. He wasn't limping or anything. He wasn't this, and like he had like I think the fourth match on the cards, and like when I was talking to him, it was during the main event, so that was like an hour and a half after his match. So he should be okay. I hope he's okay. Shout out El Fantasma as well for working the Indies a week before one of the most brutal tournaments in the entire year. And with that said, I think he's a 4-star.
Yeah, I think he's one for me. I mean, I'd probably put him at 3 stars. I know in my head who I think is going to go through, and he's on the periphery. He's one that could. I mean, he's got that match against Ospreay on the final day. I think it would make sense if they were both alive at that point in the block, that it was winner goes through sort of situation, and that he'll have a good tournament. He's someone they really like.
I actually agree with Hu on this. I can see him gain a win over Ospreay. That's kind of one thing he also mentioned to me on the weekend about that. Like last year, he opened the G1 with against Ospreay. So it could be a thing where like this year he gets his win back for last year where he lost. So I would be down. I think ELP versus Ospreay would be a really good match.
Yeah, definitely. They've worked well together before. They've got that chemistry.
It would also be it'd be kind of funny as well because because as we all know, Phantasma's not in a faction or anything, and at the show he complimented a Unite Empire shirt I was wearing because like the fabric's really nice and everything. And I kind of threw it out there to him. I was like, "Hey man, if you like the shirt so much, you could give Will a call. He can probably get you one." And he was just like, "Nah, fuck that. Fuck the Unite Empire." So like
He doesn't sit on the fence.
There's a bit of a rivalry with it.
Mm.
It could be a match of the tournament as well. I agree. I think ELP versus
potential, yeah.
Ospreay is like definitely a match of the tournament contender. Real talk, if the G1 was a shoot tournament, who'd win the whole thing?
I mean, you'd say Suzuki, but he's not in it this year, is he?
Yeah, no Suzuki.
I don't know. Really don't know. If I just someone who's really like, you're trying to think someone who's got that MMA sort of capacity. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really not sure. And Okada could really, he's got that sort of streak in him.
If it were to be a shoot tournament, like first names that come to mind for me are Shingo and Ishii. More leaning towards Shingo. Shingo is younger. Ishii would definitely have the experience. Kenta is also a good shout.
Yeah, that's
for,
a good shout. Yeah.
Shoots. I don't totally know if it would be like because Kenta's so banged up over the years. I don't think he would win it. He would be a very strong contender for that. Eddie's also a good one. He has all that history of wanting to be in Japan. He has that all Japan style. I think he would also be a good one. Getting back on track, Okada versus ELP seems to go under the radar. I think ELP is going to have a really, really strong showing this year with some of these matches against these higher names like Ospreay and Okada. I think because like especially with like early in the year where he had that really like good match with Naito in the New Japan Cup. That match was like a good showing for him against like those top stars in New Japan. And I think that he would also have really good showings this year with the G1 with it, and eventually would like elevate him into being like in that like around the US title picture, maybe even the world title picture.
Yeah, I think it's got a chance. There's a chance for him here. He's got potential in this tournament, definitely.
Yeah. Also, apparently, the entire C block is the right answer for the shoot tournament.
But we'll get there in a couple of minutes. Don't you worry, Connor.
Yeah. Taichi.
Yeah, I think Taichi is one. I'd stick him just below El Fantasmo. It's maybe a 3-star position that he'll do well. He's got that KOPW title thing, if that's still a thing people think about.
Yes.
He's not going to get battered and finish bottom. He's going to he's Taichi. We all know what you're going to get. You're going to finish. I'd expect that mid-table position. He'll have some good matches with some good wrestlers.
Yeah, I agree. I think Taichi's also is like a 4-star, 4-star, middle of the block kind of guy. KOPW isn't held as highly as others. I don't even think he's defended the title since he beat Shingo.
Don't know. I avoid it with a.
I hope that like with this it leads to some people beating him, which leads to more KOPW defenses because I do like the KOPW title. Taichi will probably start strong, but then lose a lot. I feel that as well. I think that it'll kind of be like a thing where he'll get like slowed down. Where he'll like probably have to slow down a bit in terms of that. But yeah, no, I'm feeling middle of the block, 4 stars. I think that's
definitely
appropriate.
There's a couple more of them coming. Oh no, not now.
Will Ospreay. I have his shirt on, so I think my pick is kind of obvious. 5-star. I'm definitely feeling top of the block, finishing the block, moving to semifinals, maybe second of the block, still moving the semifinals regardless. Interesting thing though, his first match of the tournament is against Taichi. This is kind of like an interesting pattern I noticed. At the beginning of the year, after he lost the U.S. title to Kenny, he went off to where Rev Pro had his singles match against Eddie Kingston, and then his first singles match back after that was against Taichi. This year, or last month, he beat Omega for the U.S. title, went to Rev Pro, had that match against, I want to say Trenton Gray. That's probably not his name. And then he's coming back, and his first singles match in New Japan, Taichi. The thing that is the most interesting about that, though, is that this is going to be a different Ospreay than the one in February that faced Taichi. The one in February that faced Taichi had a lot more to prove. He was still a lot more pissed off with losing to Omega the way he did. This one he's going to actually not be as like, I guess stiff would be the word. I think he's going to be kind of a bit more like toned back a bit. He'll still be Will Ospreay. He'll still like be at the top of his game, of course, but it's not going to have that same energy as he did when he first faced Taichi earlier this year.
Yeah, I think for me, I just see him going through him and Okada, I think maybe he'll. I mean, it depends on A block. He'll finish either first or second, go through and quarterfinal, semi-final. You could see him going through to the final. You never know with Ospreay sometimes. Where they'll put him, he obviously did well last year in the G1, so I think I'm expecting a similar tournament for him.
Mm-hmm. This is a very interesting take. I don't see him going through this
Disagreement.
tournament, sadly, or this year, sadly. In all sincerity, he should win the whole thing. It's about damn time. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's the good thing about the tournament, isn't it? This year, who knows who's going to win. There's no one particular wrestler who you sit and you go, well, he's winning or he's definitely getting to the final. That we haven't got that this year. There's lots and lots of contenders.
For sure. At the start of the year, I had Ospreay win the tournament, but with what's going on with Sonata, I don't have him to win the tournament anymore. Sonata's definitely kind of changed a lot of people's predictions throughout the year with everything that's been going on with him. Do you have any thoughts on Ospreay?
That's it for me. I think he's going to go through. That's the simple 5 stars. He'll go through, he'll do well, and the quarterfinal, semi-final, or final. It could be any of them. He could win. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Possible shout for Shingo versus Ospreay 6th and then 7th at Rev Pro.
I don't think they'll do it before the Rev Pro show. I don't think they'll do it twice in a month. It seems it'd make it quite redundant in a way. But I mean, it's a great get for Rev Pro. I'll be there for that match at the Rev Pro, the show down in London. It'll be great, that match, and it'll be interesting if they do team them up in the G1, but it's not something I'd pick out. But that's the great thing that we just said. It's so many different avenues they can go down.
And his United Empire fellow man, Great-O-Khan.
Yeah, but Great-O-Khan, he'll do all right in sort of the Taichi role and finish mid-table again. I think that's sort of the theme with a few of these guys in this block. There's the two that stand out above everyone else, and then there's a few that sort of in that middling area. Just lost his Rev Pro title to Michael Oku over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
His first loss in Britain for 5, if he's ever really, if it's 5 or 6 years. So it'd be interesting to see if that has any knock-on impact. He's not got a title around his waist, so he's more free to lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. Great-O-Khan is in a position where, like you said, he just lost the title. He's having his first match against Okada to kick off the tournament. First time they're facing each other in singles competition in 2.5 years. All hail indeed. So I think I think that match against Oku was definitely like a decider of like how far he was going to make it with the tournament. And like because he lost the belt, I think that he's kind of going to have to drop down a few places. I'm thinking 3-star. I'm thinking middle of the pack for him. I think
3 stars, easy,
fair one. And finally, Kenta.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of copy and paste what I've just said. He's exactly the same. Just lost his title. He'll lose a few more matches because of that. Because he doesn't need to be protected as much. He'll finish bottom half of the block. I think with Kenta, you can sort of explain away any losses with Kenta just being that he's been around for so long now and he's really banged up. Like we said, so maybe a 2-star using your 5-star system there, and there's nothing wrong with Kenta, but he's not got a title around his waist. So there's no reason to not have him lose a few more than the other people in the block.
Yep, I agree with that. I think Kenta's definitely going to be bottom of the block, 2 stars, maybe even finish last in the block. He's going to have a few, like 1 or 2 upset victories of like Bullet Club shenanigans, or like Kenta shenanigans, I guess. But yeah, I think bottom of the block is a fair one. And with that, we have gone halfway through the tournament.
Yes.
Please no Kenta anymore. It's run its course.
I mean, that's the great thing about the 20-minute time. Like we keep saying, it's a bit of Kenta, but it's not too much, so it'll be all right.
And I always look forward to his backstage promo, especially after shilling the book. His book,
the wrestling's enough without the backstage promos. It's too much.
When he had his like autobiography or his biography, that was probably like kind of peak Bullet Club Kenta there.
Yeah.
That was really great. Anyway, so with that, we've reached the halfway point of the block, or the entire tournament. I think this is a great time to say, if you are enjoying the streams or enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like, subscribe for more. There will definitely be more streams in the future. Follow Wrestling on Twitter. Check out the website for a bunch of other articles, and join the Discord. The link can be found on the Wrestling Twitter. And of course, as well, follow the Patreon. We had a Rika Tatsumi interview that went up yesterday, I believe it was, for our Patreons. And there is a Stardom one coming soon.
Yeah, you get early access on the Patreon. It's only for $1, or more. But obviously, the $1's like the entry point on the
Prices
Patreon.
have gone up.
Oh, but yeah, have they?
Yeah, we've added more to the Patreon, so we had to like bump up the price a little bit.
No. Well,
it's still pretty.
Patreon.com. So I mean, maybe I need to look into it. Patreon.com/wrestlein for the information that I obviously can't give you. So.
Yep. Early access to interviews. We got exclusive content on there, like Into the Wrestleverse, Wrestle Optum, the New Japan TV. The most recent episode had Royce Isaacs on there. So there's a whole lot of stuff on there that you don't get anywhere else on all of our platforms. And you also get early access to all of the podcasts that Wrestling puts out.
Including Pure Vision. That's a good one, that.
Including Pure Vision with Jamie. That's a big one. You should definitely listen to that one, along with listening to all the other content that we put out.
There's lots of great podcasts for everybody.
Yep. Lots of great stuff. Then hopefully there's more. We are putting out more in the future, hopefully. Moving on to the C block.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit conscious of time now, so I've not got a lot to say about Tama Tonga.
No.
This block's a little bit more cut and dry of who I think will go through, but you never know. They seem to really unnecessarily amount like Tama Tonga. I mean, he's not bad, he's fine, but I don't have him where New Japan higher ups have him. But I don't think he'll go through a 3-star. There's 3 or 4 people in this block who I'd see have more of a chance of getting through.
Yeah, I think I gotta give Tonga a 2-star. I don't think he is going to make it that far. He's in a tough block. He's kind of fallen off a bit, especially after losing the Never Openweight title, which I genuinely forgot he lost the Never Openweight title. like yesterday, I was looking at the blocks and I was like, oh yeah, Tama Tonga, Never Openweight champion. Oh wait, no, never mind, Finlay. David Finlay's the champion, right? Forgot.
Yeah, Julian a little bit different. They think they'll do a bit more than we're both thinking. They're alive at the end of the. I don't know if I want that, but yeah, because like I said, you never know with Tama Tonga. He's one of them. They can strap the rocket to him.
Yeah, it's a stiff block, which is kind of the theme of this one. As next up, Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, Ishii's one of them. The matches will be great, but it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. He'll finish. So that mid-table sort of position, there's no danger of him getting out the block, I don't think. But he's just, you know what you get with Ishii, don't you? Some hard-hitting matches, and it's the best block for him to be in for that.
Yeah. Excuse me. I agree with that.
Just save it while D block. That's the place to be on in.
Yeah. He's definitely a 3-star. He's running his course with the G1. Commentary has kind of made that clear over the last little while that like we're getting into that like era of Ishii where like he's not gonna be in these big tournaments. He's gonna be featured in like those 6-man tags and like the undercard. We're getting into that kind of territory with Ishii's career, unfortunately, which means that he's going to win the Triple Crown Championship soon. I guarantee this. This means that he's going to be either the GHC Heavyweight Champion or the Triple Crown Champion at some point within the next year.
I don't think he's quite there yet. He's got more time in New Japan, but he's definitely. You never know, do you? Everyone else has done it, haven't they?
Yep. I will be sad when he goes. I will also be sad when he goes. When he eventually drops down out of those positions where he's not going to compete in the G1, unless we have another pandemic. I'm not jinxing it. then
Well, we'll
we
have
won't see.
a 64-man G1 next year, so you'll get in.
Oh dear God, dear God! Don't put that out into the world. Ishii versus Nakajima. Oh, I don't want a fantasy book right now because it's going to take up more stream time. But oh, crisp. That's a good one.
There you are. And I thought he was coming next. I've got him finishing either first or second. He'll get through the block, 4 or 5 stars. Him and I don't think there's any prizes for guessing who the other person getting through the block I think it's going to be. But yeah, Shingo's dead getting through this block. He'll have some great matches with Ishii and Kingston and people like Hanare and Evil. I mean, it's going to be great. Shingo will have a good tournament. He'll get through. Yes, he'll semi-final.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I think I might have to go back and revise it because I don't totally remember everyone who's in this block. But Shingo is definitely one of those 2 guys that I would put through. I'm a 4-star right now. Possibly 5-star. Again, I like off the top of my head can't totally remember who's in these blocks. But yeah, Shingo's definitely making it. Shingo's definitely making it to out of the blocks, maybe even into the semifinals.
Yeah.
Mikey Nichols of Team DK.
I'm not surprised you forgot Mikey Nichols. He's finishing bottom of this block, absolutely nailed on. And apologies to Mikey Nichols, but there's a lot of people who could go through got an outside bet of going through, but yeah, that doesn't quite stretch to Mikey Nichols.
Yes. Hold on, sorry, I'm just going up a little bit. Just back up to this one. C Block is the one I'm stumped on who's going through. C Block could have 5 or 6 guys go through if New Japan wanted it. And I agree with that. I think damn, Roger Strong made into the team.
He does look like, I'd never noticed that. He does look like Roger Strong, doesn't he?
Why'd you have to say that? I'm not gonna be able to unsee it now.
I wish it was Roger Strong.
Oh, Roger Strong, the G1 would be so cool. Yeah. Anyway, back with Connor's comment. Yeah, the C block is definitely like a lot more of like kind of like packed along with the A block. Mikey Nichols is not one of those guys, unfortunately.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I have him like 2 or 3 star. I think 2 star. I think kind of like lower end of the block.
And go with that.
Aaron Hanare.
Yeah, I think Hanare is probably in the same boat in a way. I mean, they do like him, but I don't think he'll. With the people in this block, I don't think he's getting out. He could be one that gets pushed towards still being alive on the final day, being there and thereabouts, but they could heat him up if they need to. I'd watch out for a Shingo match. Shingo and Ares, one of them. I reckon that's a sleeper hit of the tournament, waiting to happen.
Especially
you never know.
Especially after their KOPW match. Yeah, that's for sure. That's a sleeper match in this tournament. Hanare, I have as a 3. They're going to definitely build him up with this one. I think middle of the pack. I think he's gonna like finish like probably 4th or 5th. They've been building up Hanare for a while now. I can see them build up Hanare even more. I recently I watched the interview that Hanare did with Kieran. I'm pretty sure that's out everywhere now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. Okay, perfect.
I mean, don't ask me. I got the page wrong, but I'm 100% sure that's
out. But yeah, he mentioned in it that he had bronchitis when he had that match against Shingo for the KPW title, which like I got even more. I had like more respect for him for that. Mikey will have good matches, but lose a lot. Hanare similar. Hope he can have great performances since it's his perfect block. I agree. Hanare is definitely in like the perfect block for him. This is definitely like the stiff block. It's a good block for Hanare.
It's the more the strong style block, and that's where Hanare can shine. That's his best attributes is in these sort of matches. So yeah, he's in the right place.
Yeah.
Another person in the right place. There it is. Look at that.
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
The newly crowned NJPW Strong Openweight champion.
Yes.
Bronchitis at half a star for Meltzer.
I think what you said just there, with it being he's now a New Japan.
Yes.
He's a champion in New Japan. That creates something a lot different because, I mean, I did I'll get a plug. It's a good little segue into a plug. I did a written preview of the G1 last week, and I had Eddie Kingston as he'll finish middle of the block. He'll have some great matches, but there's no danger of him going through. But now he's got a title. You never know, because that implies a bit more of a commitment to New Japan. Yeah, no, definitely. We agree with that. It's the best spot for him. He's got Ishii and Shingo and Hanare and Evil even. I'm sticking. I reckon the 20 minutes might push Evil to do a little bit more, but we'll get to him in a minute. But yeah, I think he'll do well. 3 stars, maybe 4 stars. He's potential to go through, but I don't have him going through.
Yeah,
it's just nice to see him there anyway.
Yeah, Eddie's a tricky one. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's in the tournament. I'm glad he won the openweight title. He's always wanted to do this tournament. This tournament's been a big dream of his. I'm very happy for Eddie being able to have done so much of like the stuff he's always wanted to do with his career, with like doing the G1 with the Smash against Jun Akiyama. AEW has made it really possible for him to be able to do these things. So it's great to see him being able to do yet another thing that he's always wanted to do. Shingo vs. A for free is a steal. I 100% agree.
It's a shame I'm paying for New Japan World.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know, the first 2 nights of the G1 is free to watch on New Japan World. And one of the matches on the second night, because that's when the C&D blocks are going on, is Eddie vs. Shingo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Eddie with like for me is a 3-star. He's going to definitely be middle of the pack. He's going to have a really good debut G1. I really hope that they keep the title on him for longer than just the tournament. I have seen there has been some kind of like predictions and such where like they put the belt on him to have some like more interest with the Japanese crowd, because the Japanese crowd would be like, oh, he's the New Japan Strong Openweight champion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like, so then like kind of like I should pay more attention to this guy. And then like maybe he drops the belts after the tournament's done on like the G1, like final night of the G1 or something, which like I think could be possible. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. It's not like it's not like New Japan Strong has a lot of shows going on right now that he needs to like constantly be on. And it's constantly conflicting with the schedule with AEW and stuff. So it's not even, I don't know. It's not a huge, sorry. It's not like the title on Eddie is good. It's going to result in him having a better tournament than he would have had originally. It's just kind of like a question of that. It's, is he going to drop it afterwards? I think it's the big one.
I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, sort of thing. I think in terms of his tournament, I think he'll have a good tournament. He's in the right block, like we've said. And what Julian said in the chat of him being 6 to 8 points, that's exactly where I see him being. That's sort of Eddie Kingston in this tournament, I think. Yeah, but it's nice to see him there.
Yes, I agree with that. It's definitely nice to see him here and be able to do one like his like big like bucket list kind of things with wrestling. Next up, David Finlay. I don't know how I feel about Finlay still. Like I said earlier with Tama Tonga, I genuinely forgot he was the never openweight champion. I don't know how I feel about him as leader of Bullet Club still, especially since like with all the guys brought in with Bullet Club War Dogs, they've just been better. They've been more interesting. They've been more charismatic. They've just been like a lot more of like what the original vision with like Prince Devitt and them was with Bullet Club. He's just kind of like not fit there yet. Maybe the G1, like now that they have more of a set with War Dogs, the G1 might result with him gain more closer to that attitude, which might like solidify more as a leader. But going into the tournament, I don't know. I'm thinking 3 stars. I don't think they're gonna have him at the bottom of the block as the leader of Bullet Club, and especially after like his run last year, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Like I'm thinking middle of the pack. I think that's a fair place to put David Finlay.
So we've found some disagreement there. I think David Finlay's going through. I I don't see a G1 block where David Finlay, he's the champion, he's a never openweight champion. They've strapped a rocket to David Finlay and to this new re-energized Bullet Club. I think if he doesn't win the block, I mean, I think he'll win the block, but if he doesn't, he'll finish second to Shingo. But I think he'll win the block, like Julian has said as well. Agreeing with Julian a lot so far, but yeah, I think he'll win the block. As simple as that. I think he's so important of the new vision that New Japan have got. I mean, I don't think he's the best wrestler in the world in ring. But he's got potential, and he's a champion, and he's got like Bullet Club, like firing all cylinders. Bullet Club's had a new lease of life with the new stream of young talent, and David Finlay is key to that. If he doesn't get through this block, I mean, what's the point caring about Bullet Club? He just has to go through.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. When I said the 3-star for Finlay, I didn't even think about the fact that I've said basically 3 stars for everyone else in the block. So I'll bump up to 4-star, especially thinking about like who's the last guy we're going to talk about with the block. Yeah, Finlay's just going to end up getting through. I'm not in the same boat with him winning the block. I think Shingo wins the block. Shingo is much more established over Finlay. Also Bullet Club got 6 members.
Yeah,
and
we agree with that.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah.
He's the leader. He's got to go through.
Yeah. I'll bump up to a 4-star. I think he'll make it through. Shingo, I'll give my 5-star too. But yeah, I can't see him winning the block just because Shingo's there. Shingo is former world champion. Shingo's a lot more established. Shingo's the only former world champion out of everyone in this block. I can't see them putting Finlay over Shingo yet. Maybe sometime down the road, sure. But as of this moment, Finlay's just not on the same level as Shingo, where like they would have him at 5, like they would put him at the winner of the block.
I think he is in the eyes of Gedo. I think that's all that matters in that conversation. In the booking conversation of Gedo going, well, he's my guy now, so I reckon he'll win. But you never know. I think he'll get through at the very least, but I think I see him winning the block, like I've said there. And I mean, the last paper we got to talk about, they're not getting through. We won't waste too much time on Old Evil. He's not gotten anywhere near going through. You know, there he is. He's Evil. Not. Shingo and David Finlay, like we both said, should be the two. David Finlay, yeah, for me, winning the block.
Yeah, agreed. In the words of Gato, he's got the fucking balls.
Yeah, I feel like I've won you round on David Finlay there, but yeah, you put him up there. Now we don't want to look at him for long.
We don't.
Evil won't go through. I'm quietly hopeful that the 20-minute time limit will force him to sort of like to wrestle like he used to, with that more physical, quick, energetic style. And actually go for it a little bit. But I mean, that might be wishful thinking. But we'll know after the first couple of nights if he's doing the House of Torture stuff or if he's going to play ball with people like Shingo and Ishii. But a 2-star, sorry, before you talk about, to do the tournament.
2-star, I think he finishes higher than Mike Nichols. I think Nichols is going to end up being the jobber of the block right at the bottom. Interesting. Shingo be live till the end, though. I don't.
Shingo. I think he can play spoiler, can't he, in a way? But I think Shingo's going to go for. I can't see him spoiling Shingo, but he can play that role of a potential spoiler, while still being out of contention himself. Hopefully, anyway. Yeah.
This kind of reminded me as well of a couple of years back. Shingo was competing to make it out of. I think it was the B block I think it was the B block. A couple years ago, Shingo was on the final night against Kenta, and he just needed to get a win to move on. Kenta, they got knocked out of the ring. Kenta grabbed him by the foot. Shingo tried to get back in the ring. It ended up in a double count out. Shingo missed out on the block. I can't see them doing that in 2 of the last 3 years, where they have Shingo just barely miss out.
Definitely, I agree with that.
It's in terms of what I think Evil is going to do. I think it's going to swing one of 2 ways. Where he's going to try to do the stuff that he did with Show, where he's like, no, I promise, I'm gonna play fair. I promise. Like where like Sho did that in the Best of Super Junior.
Right.
He might do that here as well. Either
Yeah,
that, or he's gonna end up like, because of the short time limit, he's gonna get to all the House of Torture bullshit quicker.
Yeah, it's an interesting block, but he's probably on the lower end of it. And I guess we've got to talk about now a block that isn't as interesting as this C block.
Yes. So going into this, I kind of like gave each block a title where it was like the A block is like the young, like the future of New Japan block. C block's the stiff block. B block is the, oh shit, we forgot to put these guys in a block. And the D block is the veteran block.
Yeah,
and of course,
I'd agree with that.
First of all is the ace Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah, I think Tanahashi is an interesting one in that I don't think he'll go through. I mean, you see the wear and tear is so visible now, and that is maybe it's sad to see as it just becomes so apparent more and more with Tanahashi. I think he'll do well. Obviously, he always does, and he's a fan favorite, and rightfully so. And he's not going to finish bottom by any stretch of the imagination. He'll be there and thereabouts. He'll be touching towards going through, but won't go through, in my view. So that would probably make him a 3-star. But yeah, I'm worried maybe that he's gonna. I think it'll be his last G1. I'm worried maybe the impact it'll have on him if he goes too hard.
Yeah, that's kind of been a bit of a conversation recently with Tanahashi of like, can he keep doing this at the pace he's been doing this? I hope he still can. I really like Tanahashi. I know he really likes doing what he does. No knees Tanahashi. So I know he really likes where he is in the company. I know he really likes doing what he does in the company. I want him to slow down if it means that he stays healthy for the rest of his life. I don't want him to have like Muto knees where he needs to like be rolled through an airport in a wheelchair going to the WWE Hall of Fame or something. But yeah, Tanahashi, I'm going to give Tanahashi a 4-star just because it is Tanahashi. He's still a contender no matter what. He could still make it out of the block despite where he is in his career. Right. Next up, Hiroki Goto.
Yeah, I mean, like we've said, we're a little bit conscious of finishing on time. So for me, Goto's quite a simple cut and dry. He'll finish mid-table, 3 stars. He won't go through. He's no danger of finishing at the bottom. He's got that title obviously still attached to him. So I mean, you know what you get with Goto. He's a veteran. He'll have some good matches, but yeah, Tanahashi, Naito, Zack Sabre Jr. There'll be good matches for him, but he won't be near the top.
Yeah, I think with Goto's a 3-star. Unfortunately, the G and the G1 no longer stands for Goto. That we are past that era of Goto. It's disappointing he never won the IWGP Heavyweight title. I hope that he maybe, like I said with who did I say for earlier? Ishii. I hope maybe like he has kind of like the same thing except Ishii, where he like starts doing part-time work for New Japan, goes somewhere else, wins the world title over in like Noah or All Japan or something. I think that'd be great to see. Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr. last should also be a deciding match. But yeah, Goto's a 3-star. I think with Goto will finish middle of the block, be in there for second to last night or so, and then end up just barely missing out.
Yep, we'll go with that.
Toru Yano. Why is he still in the G1?
I mean, there's 32 wrestlers. He's going to sneak in, isn't he? They've probably not noticed. They probably just cut and paste the graphics and forgot that they've not even told him yet. He doesn't know he's in the tournament. I mean, it is what it is. It's comedy stuff. It could be all right. I'm a bit sick and tired of it. I think if I'm at a pinch and if I'm running out of time, I'm skipping the Toru Yano match. He'll finish towards the he'll get a sneaky win on somebody. And yeah, we'll all forget about it by next week.
I just want to Brandon's comment. I will swap Tana with an overseas guy. I will swap Yano with an overseas guy.
Yeah, I think Tanahashi's got to be in that G1. I think it'll be his last, or one of his last anyway. His last at this sort of level. But yeah, you can't. I think he's got to be there.
Yeah. if you were to bring in someone else over Yano, fucking Kento Miyahara. I would have loved to see Kento Miyahara in the G1.
I'd love to
I
see a
think,
Bandor in the G1 instead of Tobiano, to be honest.
yeah, another one. Like, there's so many better options elsewhere that you would bring from in over Yano. Oops. Wait, no, that's wrong. Lawler should have been in over
Yeah,
Tana
Tom
Yano.
Lawler's
I agree with
interesting.
that. Tom Lawler would have been a great one to put in there. Like, there's so many options that you could have had, like, over Yano. There's so many guys that, like, we were talking about that would have, like, that got snubbed over out of being out of the G1. And then you kind of look, it's like, really? Yano's here again? What is, like, I don't remember the last match Yano's wrestles. Like, has he
It's
been wrestling at
probably
all?
not a bad thing. I don't know. I'm not too. I've not seen him recently. He's not. But it's the G1. He's always in the G1, isn't he? He's
He's
one of
always,
them.
yeah.
He'll pop back up, have a couple of G1 matches, win one. Whoa! I had the tights. I wrapped him around a ring post, that sort of thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's not. It won't blow anyone away. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few contenders for this block that are coming up next, and yeah, it's quite cut and dry that Yano he's there for the comedy.
Yeah. Like, there's only so much Yano could do as well at this point. Like, he's done so much different comedy shticks. Like, what else new stuff can he do, really? Like,
We'll find out.
we
We'll
can't
find
hit that
out.
point of Yano. It's either it's going to be like his usual, like, he's going to do something new, and we're all going to be like, wow, that okay, fine. Well, I guess Yano can be fresh sometimes, or he's just going to do the same shit that he always does, where he's going to, like, the referee's going to get turned around, he's going to low blow, Kevin Kelly's going to go, oh no, my monitor, and then, like, he's going to win on a roll up. Alex
Yeah.
Zane or Lance Archer would have also been great in the G1. Alex Zane is a junior heavyweight though, so, like, not him. Lance Archer being in the G1 again, though, that would have been cool. I would have been down for Lance Archer being in the G1 more. Next up, Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, I think I've got Naito winning this block. I've got Naito winning the tournament. I mean, he'll be the one that goes forward because it makes sense. He's facing Sanada at Wrestle Kingdom. That would make sense as that the LIJ story been working through. He's beat Suji. He can beat Shingo in the knockout stages. He can beat whoever as he goes through, and then eventually beat Naito. Either beat Naito or lose to Naito at Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, that's definitely my pick for the block and my pick for the tournament. To see Naito.
Yeah, Naito. Interesting that you think Naito's going to win the whole thing. I don't think Naito will win the whole thing. It's a rich from the beginning of the year. I think someone said it earlier in the chat. I agree with them. Since the beginning of the year, I like, once Ospreay lost the IWGP US title, I was like, and I saw, like, all his backstage comments. I was like, okay, Ospreay's win the G1. This is Ospreay's year. He's gonna have his big moment. He's gonna win the G1. He's gonna win in Wrestle Kingdom. He's gonna have it all, and then he's gonna stay in New Japan. But then he won the US title back. So now it's a bit more of a toss up of, like, who I think is gonna win the G1. I'm not too confident in Naito. I think Naito's gonna make it out of the blocks. I think Naito even makes it into the semifinals. Naito's my 5-star for this block, but I'm not super sure about if he would actually win the entire tournament. Naito is top favorite. Yeah, I think Naito is the top favorite throughout the whole thing. It's tricky.
He's odds on with the bookies.
Yeah, it's really tricky to pick a winner, because at the same time, because, like, I'm in a position where, like, I don't think it's gonna be one of the younger guys like Shota Umino, Suji, Ren Narita, etc. But I don't think it's gonna be like Okada again. I don't think it's gonna be Tanahashi. I don't think it's gonna be Naito. Like, but, like, it's gonna probably be Okada again, or Naito, or Ospreay. I hope it's Ospreay. I want Ospreay to have his moment. He's gone so close so many times. I think even though he's the US champion, I think he should still win the G1, drop the US belt at some point before Wrestle Kingdom. But, like, I don't know. Especially after last year, I think it's like Ospreay is just so close that I think he should win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening, but yeah, like I said, there, Naito's my one, but I don't think he's the only one that could win.
Yeah, no, picking Naito as the winner is completely fair. But, like, I think they're going to keep building up that story of, like, he keeps missing out on the Wrestle Kingdom main event. because he technically did do it this year as well with the Muto's Keiji Muto's retirement show, where it was like, oh, nice, I main events the Tokyo Dome, and then Muto was like, hey, Masahiro Chono, let's have one more match, and then like he did main event the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, he had that main event the other year, didn't he, with Okada? Where he won the title, but I guess after that match, Kento has spoiled the party, didn't he, with his spoiling the roll call. But yeah, he's had. I just think the story's perfect with him being the LIJ versus LIJ. So like with Sanada leaving, it's the ex LIJ against the LIJ leader. I don't think there's a better story they can do. I think that's the perfect way to sell some tickets for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, Sanada versus Naito, I think, is a good one. It better not be Okada. It's time to get off the Okada train once and for all. I would say get off the train once and for all, but I don't think he should win the G1 for a third year straight. That's what I think they need to stop with Okada. Okada is still always going to be one of the top guy in the company, but like he doesn't need to win yet another G1.
Yeah, I'd agree. He'd be the first person to win 3 consecutive G1s ever, so it's one of them things it could potentially for a bit of history. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll be Okada this year.
I think this year Sonata, they're saying he's got no more use for Naito, hence why he left LIJ. It can come back to bite him. The reason wasn't the reason he left LIJ was because he felt like he couldn't accomplish anything else in LIJ. That he needed to go out on his own because he felt like he was just in a rut with LIJ that he couldn't just advance further.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of thing they can build with a match with Naito, can't they? Can build the different ways to go. There's lots of ways that story can go, and that's why sort of I see it as Naito. But he's obviously because someone's got to get out the block with him, and the person we've got coming up next, that's the person I think is gonna go through with him. If I've got the order right, yeah, there he is. I think Zack Sabre Jr. Is going to come out of the block with Naito. Naito winning, Zack Sabre Jr. finishes second. I'm less confident that Zack will get through, but I think the only other alternatives are sort of Tanahashi or Goto or Jeff Cobb to come. So I think he's out of the lot. He's the second pick for me. Yeah. He's going to be a 4-star for this block. He's going to finish second. Probably get knocked out in the quarters, but it'll be a good tournament for Zack again.
Yeah, Zack's also my 4-star. Zack, I also agree, is most likely going to make it out of the blocks. Possibly semifinal. He's like it's like for sure he's making it out of the blocks. He's getting to the quarterfinals. Making it semifinals, I'm not as confident with. I think that whoever Zack loses to will step into time match. It's definitely for sure.
Hopefully it's not Jeff Cobb again.
I would be down for a third Jeff Cobb match. I like Cobb.
Third one in this blood tournament.
Zack versus Cobb is great. That's also true. We would be getting a third one here, yeah. Tech for the finals, please. Taichi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Final for the G1. Book it, Gato.
Yeah, interesting. We both agree who's going to go through this D block. There's obviously a few more to talk about, but yeah, I think Zack Sabre Jr., like we both said there, he's the one to go through with Naito.
For sure. I think as well with Zack, it's fair to give him like out of the blocks, move him into like the knockout stage, because like he's been such a workhorse for New Japan this year in terms of like both like within the company and outside the company of the TV title. Like I think it's fair to reward him and be just kind of say like, yeah, thank you, thanks Zack, here you go, we're gonna put you further into the tournament.
Yep.
Next up, Shane Haste.
Yeah, I mean, I've very little to say about Shane Haste. I think he'll finish towards the bottom of the block. He'll probably win a couple. I've no interest really. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I'm sure he'll have some good matches, especially with Zack Sabre Jr., that TMDK rivalry. But yeah, doesn't excite me in the slightest.
Block is also a toss-up because you got Naito, Zack, Cobb, Tanahashi, Goto, someone. That's true. It is a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, there's plenty of people.
There's plenty of people that make through.
Jeff Cobb. Shane Haste is not one of them.
Yeah. Shane's a 2-star for me. I don't think he's finished at the bottom. I think Yano's finished at the bottom. He's going to get upset by Yano. I think that's kind of like for sure, like Yano win is against Shane Haste. Shane is cool. TMDK is cool. I don't think that Shane has like the singles power to have a big tournament.
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb's a bit more interesting for me. I think he's one of them, like that's been said by who have in the chat there, that he's got potential to go through in that second position. He's got potential to push, at the very least, challenge on that final day. I think he's got Shane Haste on the final day, which provides probably not the best match for that. That signals maybe he'll be out by then, but I think it would be an interesting tournament. Against Zach again doesn't really interest me, but Goto, that'll be a good match, and Naito, he's done some nice work with Naito before, so yes, Jeff Cobb, it could be interesting.
Damn, G1 fell so low. Oh, they got Slapjack. They had to round out the field. They had to bring Slapjack. I need that Cobb from G1 2021 again. I agree. G1 31 Cobb was really good. I also agree with you as well. I think 3-star Cobb is going to be in the upper half of the finishing upper half block. I think with Cobb, he's very, he's had a strong year.
Yep.
Predicting a Cobb win over Naito this Sunday. Interesting.
Yeah, Naito always starts slow, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Naito is known for his very slow starts.
Yep.
Well, excuse me. But yeah,
one more.
Early morning.
It's an early, it's a very early start for you actually. Yeah, it's getting late for me. I've been at work all day, so it's getting late on. It's very early for you, so my sympathy is there. But yeah, who else? He says it there. They say it there. Alex Coughlin. He's his last match, and I mean, what a picture that is, Christ. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Like we talked about Gabe Kidd earlier, he's got a title now. He's a tag team champion with Gabriel Kidd, so it'd be interesting to see if that means he's protected in any way, shape, or form. I think he'll probably finish above. Yano will probably finish above Shane Haste, but I don't see him finished above any of the other people, the other 5 in this block. So yeah, it'd be an interesting tournament for Alex Coughlin.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same with Coughlin. I'm feeling 3-star here. I agree with your ranking. He's going to finish over Yano, Haste, not really anyone else. He's going to have some damn good matches, though. So, 3-star. End of that. Yep. That is everyone in the blocks.
Fantastic. I'm sure really, the final thing for us to predict before we head off is our winner. I mean, that's the final thing to.
Real quick though, he's facing Shane Haste on the first night of.
See, I mean, what a match! That's got G1 written all over it. That match, yeah.
Yeah, but just the renders.
No, yeah.
The 2 goofiest renders in the entire company.
I've not
his
seen
mustache makes me feel some kind of way. Can I write a romance novel about that? His eyes make me feel some kind of way.
I can't say I agree with either there. Alex Coughlin is not. I mean, it's a look. He's memorable. He'll have an alright tournament. Jeff Cobb, that's the match for me with him. To pick out that so like 2 hard hitting wrestlers there, but yeah, that rounds out our D block, doesn't it? And there we are, back to full screen. And I'll let you go first. I've obviously let the cat out of the bag of who I think is going to win the G1. But who's your final prediction?
Sorry, I was trying to get the image a little bit bigger.
Who's your dear me. Yeah, well, that's an awful picture.
Goofy. It's so goofy. Collins' eyes are perpetual Vietnam flashback. You'll be surprised by Shane Haste, I'm telling you. I know Shane Haste is a good wrestler.
Maybe, are we sleeping on Shane Haste? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I know Shane Haste is a good wrestler. I agree. He'll have good matches. I just don't see him gain big wins, I guess. He's a tag team guy like Mike and Nichols. They'll have a big World Tag League. I think TMD, the 2 of them will have a really strong World Tag League. I just don't see it the same way with the G1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Sorry, what was your question?
Before our last thing to do before we go, isn't it? Predict our winner. I've let the cat out of the bag, but who do you think? Hands in the air. Who's going to win the G1?
God,
you're only allowed one. That's the killer.
I know I'm on. Yeah, jeez. It's hard. There's so many picks. Like Okada could win a 3rd time. Naito could win, like you said. maybe one of the other guys in the A block, like Sonata, could win the tournament, pick his own opponent. Jeez, there's a safety net, I think, in terms of picking a winner, and the safety net is, well, it's Will Ospreay. I think if you were to have someone that you could safely say that this guy is going to win, bold and say Kaito versus Naito final.
I can see that. I can go along with that.
I can get with it. But I think the safety net is Ospreay. I think if you are not sure who's going to win the whole thing, there is like the three guys, the safety net, the three people of Ospreay, Naito, Okada, and for me, Ospreay is the one that I think is going to have his year. There's been so much this year with Ospreay in terms of story where it's like he lost to Omega in the Wrestle Kingdom. He said that he wasn't sure if he could continue New Japan. He feels like he has to prove something. He had some great matches throughout the year. He had his injury in the New Japan Cup, so now he can't do the Stormbreaker safely as much. He's had a very up and down year. He won the title back from Omega. He beat Omega. They're even one apiece. I think this is his time. Especially after how close he got last year with making it to the final against Okada and losing to Okada, which still makes me mad to this day that he didn't win. This just it screams in terms of just storytelling. It screams that this Ospreay's here. Gato's so frustrated at these tournaments because he will fucking book something completely different. He's going to fucking book Ospreay to lose in the semifinals, so we get a final of like fucking Okada versus like Yota Tsuchi or some shit. Because he's good for booking blocks. He's shit for booking the finals.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, I obviously said who I think is going to win. It's Tetsuya Naito for me, and that they are the two with Okada, like you've said. It's those three. They're the three favourites in a way. Naito for me, Ospreay for you. I mean, we've got a good chance of one of us being right there.
We have a good chance of Gato deciding to be like, you know what, fuck this, and then just like having both of them lose in the quarterfinals as well. And again, like,
I mean, I guess that'll make it an interesting tournament. Something a bit different. There's a lot of people complaining about New Japan not doing anything different this year. They've gone against what they usually do. They've promoted some young guys, some new guys in that main event scene, and if that continues to the G1, we'll soon find out. That's the key question for this G1.
Yeah, it's tricky. I think it's tricky. I don't think they're gonna be as bold with the final as they were with the Best of Super Juniors. I agree with that, but Tespi not making the finals, Best of Super Juniors still haunts me. That's also true. If Ospreay wins as US champ, he can say that he did something Omega couldn't because Omega did not win the 27th G1 as the US champion. But what was my thought process? Oh, right. There were bowls with the final of the Best Super Junior with Teton versus Master Wato. I don't think they'll do it again with the G1. They might have one person in the final that's a Super Bowl pick, like one of the super young guys, like one of the Rainbow Three Musketeers. But I don't think they would be bold enough to do something like Kaito versus like Kaito versus Dave Finlay or something like that. I don't think they do anything super bold like that. I think that Shingo, actually, we completely glossed over Shingo Takagi. I think Shingo's also another one that could make that could possibly make the finals.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of options. That's the good thing about this G1. Like we've been saying throughout, it's not the easiest one to predict. We could have butchered our predictions there. Some have been similar, some have been different. That's the exciting part of this G1, and it's been great talking about it tonight on the stream with everybody. And I'm sure we'll all enjoy a different G1 with the 4-box, but I think what will be a good G1, all things considered.
Yes, 100%. It's still gonna be a really good tournament. G1 always is one of the best tournaments of the year. Always puts on some of the best matches of the entire year, and this year should be no exception. Real quick before we go, who is your jobber for each block?
My job, who do I think is going to just bottom?
Who do you think's finishing at the very in last for each of the 4 blocks?
God, let me get the box back up. Mikey Nichols, his potential for his block. There we are. Get back up. A block. I think Hikaleo for A block. B block's a tricky one, isn't it? I think Kenta's got potential there, hasn't he? They lost the title. Maybe they could play a story of him sort of spiraling. C block, I'll go for Mikey Nichols, like I've said, and then D block, maybe Yano.
Yeah. So, actually, who has said Chase Tangaloa, Mikey Yano?
Yeah, not too
I
far.
agree with 3/4 of that. I agree with Chase. I think Chase is definitely going to be the jobber of the A block. B block, I'm not thinking Tongaloa just because, like I said earlier, he's wrestling for the first time in over a year and a half. So I don't think it'd be very fair for them to have him be the jobber of the be like, hey, welcome back from injury. You're losing like just about every match. I think with the B block, I'm thinking Kent as well. I think it's just kind of be like a downward spiral from him losing the strong openweight title.
It's a story that could play with Kent. It would be interesting.
Yes. C block, I'm feeling either David or not David Finley, Evil or Mikey Nichols.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I'm thinking Mikey Nichols. Evil's probably going to end up winning a few good chunk matches. And then D block, I'm not going to have it Yano. I think Yano finishes. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Yano. Yano's last. I was thinking like, nah, it's probably gonna be Shane Hayes. Yano's gonna pull up something. Nah, no, fuck Yano. Yano's last. Yano's taking last. He's not. He's gonna win like one match. Yeah, Yano's winning one match, maybe 2.
Aye, well, that's a very bold prediction. We'll have to see come tournament end how true our predictions have come true.
I think
I've come to be
Yano,
anyway.
I think Yano only finished with like 1 win last year or 2 wins last year. Anyway.
Yeah, the 1 to 5, only 1 win last year. Yeah. The extra match this year, but you never know. Yeah.
Yeah. The ring Tongaloa ring rust is fair, but like again, I just don't see them giving him last place.
Yeah, you never know. It's that again. There's lots of moving parts in this tournament. Lots of different opportunities and different avenues New Japan can take, and yeah, I'm slowly warming to the tournament. I'm looking forward to it as we get closer, and that's the key with these sort of tournaments. It's going to be a good tournament, and yeah, Naito to win.
Yep, for sure. I'm 100% with that. It will be a good tournament regardless. It's going to be a very busy July and August with this tournament and N1 Victory and Tokyo Princess Cup and 5-Star Grand Prix. And Dragon Gate has their King of Gate tournament going on.
Yeah.
The whole thing of unpredictability is why the G1 is going to be great. I 100% agree about that. It's going to be very unpredictable tournaments, and I might feel like how I do with some of my sports teams when we get into the quarterfinals of them losing. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Any final closing thoughts at all?
Yeah, I think the only thing just to say on my way is to follow me on Twitter at jjohnson_16. You get everything that I'm doing over there, and obviously Fusa's Twitter is on the screen for you all. Thanks to everyone who's made comments throughout the stream. Julian said thank you there. We really appreciate people listening. Hopefully not.
Why would you put that out into the world, you son of a bitch?
Yeah,
why
really
would you
appreciate
put
everyone
this
watching.
godforsaken curse upon us?
So is man. Well, if it happens, we know who to blame. But yeah,
Exactly.
Thank you everyone for watching and joining in on the comments. It's been great to chat to people, and yeah, this will be available on demand for everyone. If we can come back and see how wrong we were come to tournament end.
No matter how many I get wrong, if you want to tag me in the Discord, be like, "Ha, you're wrong." Go ahead. Hold me accountable for my actions. Keep them receipts. You can follow me on Twitter at Fusa Valor, which is on side. It's displayed right here. Yeah, there we go. You follow me there on Twitter. It's a mess, just like Twitter. And if you are swearing off Twitter now because Elon Musk has destroyed it, the username is the same for Threads. So if you want to follow me on Threads as well, then same username, Fusa Valor. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you everyone who stayed all the way through. Thank you for everyone who tuned in for like a minute or so. Thank you for the people who accidentally clicked on this stream meaning to click on a different video on your YouTube front page. It's still viewership. It matters. Please like, please subscribe, follow the Twitter, subscribe to the Patreon, join the Discord, check out the website, read the articles, check out Jamie's Substack, check out my Substack when I eventually post on it. I have a couple of ideas
What's
going around. Eventually, I'll put up something.
Thank you.
Gato's alt account. No!
Hopefully
the fucking balls! Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
We will see you around.